Alright, so I'm making this video real quick because a lot of the comments were asking very good questions concerning the whole, okay, well, what if Allah sends me two signs, one positive, one negative? So how am I supposed to really know which one is the actual true sign and the other one is just a test? How do I know? Again, as we said before, and I will always, and I will stress this many times, guys, there needs to be yaqeen. You need yaqeen. And by the way, that goes for everything, especially du'as. You can't just pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, oh Allah, do this for me or give me something, but you don't actually believe what you're saying. No, I know Allah's going to answer me. He's going to answer me. Yaqeen. You need yaqeen. So, okay, now let's assume the yaqeen is good. We're good. We believe Allah will answer. Good. Okay, what's next? Allah, as we said, the whole testing thing, most of the time He reverses, it makes it the opposite when He's going to test you, right? As we said, yes. And sometimes, by the way, your dua could be bad for you right now, but it's not actually bad for you. It's just right now at this moment, if He were to answer it to you, or answer it for you, it would be bad. So He delays it. Okay, so that's another thing, by the way, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala might do. He might just tell you it's right now bad for you, but it's not actually as in it's always bad for you, so He's going to replace it. No, it's just right now it's bad. So He's preparing you or preparing someone else, you know, if it's love or something. So keep that in mind. Now, of course, as I said before, this is from experience. There are no references for these things, okay? So, from experience, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is a pattern with the whole testing thing. How do I know if this is the true sign and this is just the test sign? It begins with the true sign. Why? As we said before, guys, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you a certain piece of information that is going to happen, aka a sign, right? As we said before in our science video, it's almost like it's telling us the future in a way because it's going to happen. Precisely. At that time, that sign is true. Now, let's say things started going the opposite direction, as we said before, right? Do you know what He also tests you with? He doesn't just test you, of course, as I said before, not just things going the opposite, people telling you your dua is bad for you or things like that. No. He could also test you by giving you fake signs, or as the comments said, negative signs. Signs that are opposing your dua. They're specific, the same as the positive ones, but they're actually telling you your dua is not going to be answered or your dua is bad for you or things like that. So keep that in mind as well. So how do I know? As I said before, provided that yaqeen is there, Allah will let you know which ones are the real ones. He will tell you. Don't ask how He's going to tell you. He will tell you. Wallahi, He will tell you. And the other thing, as I said, from patterns, it begins with the positive signs. Why? Because you don't know yet. You don't know anything. You just pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't know, things didn't go the opposite direction yet. You just started the dua. So, of course, whatever sign you see from the start, that is the real sign. Does that mean, by the way, when things are going the opposite direction, that Allah is not going to give you positive signs anymore? No, He actually still gives you positive signs, but He will give you both. Or as one of my comments said, I'm getting mixed signals. Precisely. So keep asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reveal the truth. Allah, I've had this many times, guys. Thousands of signs, and I've been getting nothing but mixed signals, not knowing what Allah is trying to tell me. And I've tried so many times, Allah, what are you trying to tell me? Which one is real? I believe this, but then suddenly I believe this. Which one is real? He tells me, but just not immediately. Here is a secret, guys. Think of it this way. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala were to answer you immediately, don't you think literally everyone in this world would be praying to him and making dua? Even the disbelievers themselves? Dua is like a secret weapon, guys. It brings miracles, especially if you come closer to Allah. It does not just bring a blessing, it turns into a miracle. Like I said before, visions are a form of a miracle. Not everyone receives a vision, right? And I've seen so many of my comments, an unbelievable amount, that had visions. Subhanallah. So that's how you know. Allah will let you know. Keep asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, obviously, to reveal more. Remember, guys, I made this video before. Talk to Allah. Talk to Him. The problem is we don't talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We keep thinking. We let our human logic interfere. How is He going to answer me? He's not going to talk to me with His voice. So, and even if He, let's say He answers me via a message on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Well, it's still, maybe it's not going to be clear enough. How am I supposed to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Wallahi, He will shock you. You will be astonished how He communicates with you. But you have to believe that He will. You can't just talk to Him, but you don't actually believe anything. No, talk to Him. Allah, I don't know how you're going to reply to me. I know you will. I just don't know how, to be honest. Can you show me how? Can you reveal more, Allah? Yani, I'm having mixed signals, Allah. I don't know which sign to believe. Can you show me which one to believe? Can you really tell me, is this dua bad for me? Or is it good? What's the point of istikhara, guys? That's the point. Is it bad for me or is it good? Can you tell me? Or are you just testing me? I need to know so I can keep coming closer to you. Do you see what I mean? And never stop the dua, by the way. I was just giving, like, it was like I was speaking to him casually, as I said before in that video. Do you see what the point is? All of this is from the top of my head. I didn't rehearse any of this, as you can clearly tell. See? Talk to him. Talk. Now, last but not least, this was a very popular comment that I had in my video. The whole numbers thing, the universe, the angelic numbers, 111, symmetrical numbers, a bunch of all of that good stuff. Okay, I used to do this, by the way. I actually used to follow these kind of signs. The messages themselves in these are not bad, guys. But that's not the problem. What is the problem then? So they could be signs? Yes, they could actually be signs. They're messages. But when you look at these things in their entirety, those Instagram accounts or Facebook accounts or whatever, you will quickly realize those numbers are associated with pagan beliefs, satanic beliefs. They're associated with shirk. They're associated with bad things, evil things. So it's not the messages, because yes, the universe is telling you that your prayer is going to be answered instead of dua, for example. So of course, okay, all I have to do is just replace the universe with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Problem solved, right? Yes, but time and time and time, you keep getting exposed to these things, and shaitan, and I am not joking, might mislead you into thinking these numbers are good. And yes, I'm speaking from experience. I told you I used to use these things for a long time. When I getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and getting closer, I realized very quickly it's not the messages that are bad. It's the accounts, what they talk about, the universe, the angels. This number, this symmetrical number means this. Meditate, and by the way, when they say meditate, they don't mean pray to Allah or sujood. No. They mean meditate as in literally the whole, and your third eye and all of that crap. So yeah, be careful, guys. Allah will communicate with you in any way else. Follow accounts about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will communicate with you better. And by the way, He communicated with me better. He gave me more signs, more specific than those numbers.